Before Johnny Unitas arrived, the Baltimore Colts were a joke.
Enough to ding a receiver. Hit right there, didn't see his face.
Empty seats, endless losses, and a franchise on life support. But one gritty quarterback changed everything.
Crowd with eyes on Johnny Unitas, the great Colt quarterback. The first
Rewriting NFL history and saving football in Baltimore. This man was so intimidating that opposing players would literally shake in his presence. He didn't just resurrect a franchise, he became the most feared quarterback in NFL history. This is the story of Johnny Unitas, the man who turned a dying team into legends. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why grown men feared looking into his eyes, and why his intimidation factor changed the game forever. Before we dive into this absolutely insane story, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because I guarantee you've never heard the Johnny Unitas story told like this before. And here's something that'll blow your mind. Stick around until the end, because I'm going to reveal the one thing Unitas did that modern quarterbacks are still trying to copy and failing miserably. But first, let me paint you a picture of just how broken the Baltimore Colts were before Johnny Unitas arrived.
Keep his hands warm. The temperature, according to what...
Picture this. It's 1953, and the Baltimore Colts are quite literally the worst team in professional football. And I mean worst. They'd lose games 56-0. Fans would literally leave at halftime. The team was so bad that other franchises felt sorry for them. But here's where it gets crazy. The Colts front office was desperate. So desperate that they were willing to try anything, including picking up a quarterback who'd been cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. His name was Johnny Unitas. And at that moment, nobody, and I mean nobody, knew they were looking at the man who would become the most feared quarterback in NFL history. But what if Johnny Unitas had never gotten that chance? What if the Colts had given up on him like everyone else? The entire history of the NFL would be completely different. Now here's what made Johnny Unitas different from every other quarterback of his era. And honestly, every quarterback since.
The first time that his team comes into possession against the New York Giants, Unitas fakes brilliantly while fleet-footed.
It wasn't just his arm, it wasn't just his accuracy, it was something far more terrifying. Johnny Unitas had this stare.
That was really a new concept.
This ice-cold, calculating look that would pierce right through your soul. Defensive players later said that looking into Unitas' eyes was like staring into the face of inevitability. Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Nitschke once said, and this is a direct quote, "When Unitas looked at you, you knew you were about to get destroyed and there was nothing you could do about it." And guys, what I'm about to show you next is going to give you chills. Because this intimidation factor, it wasn't just psychological. Unitas would literally tell the defense exactly what play he was going to run, and then execute it perfectly anyway.
Unitas threw for 349 yards and...
Imagine that level of confidence. Imagine that level of pure, raw dominance. So here's how Johnny Unitas transformed the Baltimore Colts from laughingstock to legend. It started in 1956. Unitas wasn't even supposed to start. But when the starting quarterback got injured, they had no choice but to put in this unknown kid from Pittsburgh. And then something magical happened. Unitas didn't just play quarterback. He conducted the offense like a symphony. Every throw was precise. Every decision was calculated. Every movement was poetry in motion. But here's the crazy part. Opposing teams knew what was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. Defense coordinators would study film for hours, devise the perfect game plan, and then watch Unitas tear it apart in the first quarter. Think about it like this. If Patrick Mahomes had Tom Brady's precision, Aaron Rodgers' arm talent, and the ice-cold killer instinct of a Terminator, you'd have Johnny Unitas.
Unitas belonged to us.
December 28, 1958. Yankee Stadium. This is the game that changed everything. The Baltimore Colts versus the New York Giants for the NFL championship, and Johnny Unitas is about to create the most iconic moment in football history. With less than 2 minutes left, the Colts are trailing. The season is on the line. The franchise's future hangs in the balance. And then, Johnny Unitas does something that still gives me goosebumps. He doesn't just tie the game. He does it with such surgical precision that 45 million people watching on TV collectively lose their minds. But Unitas isn't done. Oh no, he's just getting started.
Maybe we're passers who could throw the ball.
Sudden death over time. First time in NFL championship history. And Unitas, this ice-cold assassin, methodically drives down the field like he's playing catch in his backyard. You want to know how intimidating Johnny Unitas was?
Johnny Unitas shoots a soaring pass. It's taken on the fly by Lenny Moore all the way to the goal.
After that game, Giants players admitted they were intimidated before the first snap. They knew they were going to lose just by looking at him. What happened next was nothing short of a football miracle.
In his stance and his hand.
Johnny Unitas didn't just save the Baltimore Colts. He turned them into a dynasty. 3 NFL championships, 5 MVP awards, records that stood for decades. But here's what made it truly special. Unitas didn't just win games, he changed how quarterback was played forever.
Had a streak even half as long.
Every quarterback you see today, Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers, they're all playing Johnny Unitas' game. And wait until you hear about the time Unitas broke a defender's spirit so completely that the guy retired mid-season. Johnny Unitas retired in 1973, but his legend was just beginning. Every time you see a quarterback stand tall in the pocket with pass rushers bearing down, that's Johnny Unitas.
Catch and downs the ball at the Baltimore.
Every time you see a quarterback make an impossible throw look routine, that's Johnny Unitas. And every time you see a quarterback with that ice-cold stare that says, "I own this field," that's the ghost of Johnny Unitas. But here's the secret I promised you. The one thing Unitas did that modern quarterbacks still can't replicate. He played 47 consecutive games with at least one touchdown pass. 47 games. In an era where defenders could literally decapitate receivers. Tom Brady's longest streak? 28 games. Peyton Manning, 51 games, but in a much softer era.
Peyton Manning runs it in for the touchdown.
Unitas did it when football was a war zone, when intimidation worked both ways. And he wasn't just unintimidated, he was the most intimidating player on the field. If this story gave you chills, you need to subscribe right now for more legendary NFL content that'll blow your mind. And let me know in the comments, who do you think was more intimidating? Johnny Unitas or any modern quarterback? I guarantee the answers will surprise you. Also, if you want to see more stories about NFL legends who changed the game forever, check out this video right here about the linebacker who was so feared. Opposing offenses would change their entire game plan. Until next time, keep watching for those legendary moments that make the NFL the greatest sport on earth.